Deep beneath the crashing waves in the hidden depths of the ocean where sunlight barely reaches, nestled amongst coral reefs and ancient shipwrecks, lies a world of wonder and mystery. Lay the palace of Poseidon. Not a dark, dreary cave like one might expect, but a palace of shimmering brilliance. The walls were not just stone, but polished abalone that gleamed with an inner light, casting a magical glow throughout the palace. The walls of polished abalone gleamed with an inner light, reflecting the beauty of the ocean itself. Columns of spiraling coral reached towards the surface, each one adorned with pearls and precious gems that sparkled like stars in the night sky. These columns were not just structural, but works of art, each telling a story of the ocean's history and Poseidon's reign. Schools of silver fish darted between the coral, their scales catching the light like a shower of fallen stars, creating a mesmerizing dance of light and color. Their movements were so synchronized it was as if they were performing a ballet, a tribute to the majesty of Poseidon's domain. The palace was always alive with activity. It was a bustling hub of life and energy where every creature had a role to play. Mermaids wove tapestries from seaweed, their delicate fingers creating intricate patterns that told stories of the sea. Their laughter echoed through the halls, a sound as beautiful and haunting as the ocean's song. Tritons practiced their conch-shell trumpets, the melodies bouncing off the walls and filling the palace with music. The music was not just for entertainment, but a way to communicate with the creatures of the sea, a language that transcended words. And in the throne room, upon a throne of sculpted coral and giant clamshells, sat Poseidon himself. His presence was commanding, yet there was a gentleness in his eyes. Poseidon was a powerful figure, his very being radiating strength and authority. His beard flowed like the ocean currents, a symbol of his connection to the sea. His eyes were as deep and turbulent as the sea itself, holding the secrets of the ocean within them. He ruled the waves with an iron fist, his power unquestioned and absolute. But there was also a deep love for his domain in his heart. He cared for his creatures great and small, and his power protected them from harm. He cared for his creatures, great and small, ensuring that the delicate balance of the ocean was maintained. His power protected them from harm, shielding them from the dangers that lurked in the depths. But even Poseidon, with all his power, could not escape the currents of fate. The ocean was vast and unpredictable, and even the mightiest of gods could not control everything. For trouble was brewing in his kingdom, a darkness that threatened to engulf even the deepest trenches of the ocean. This darkness was not just a physical threat, but a challenge to Poseidon's very rule, a force that sought to undermine his authority and bring chaos to the sea. It began, as many stories do, with a betrayal. A trusted ally turned foe, setting in motion a chain of events that would test Poseidon's strength and resolve like never before.
In the early days of the world, the line between god and monster was blurry at best. Creatures of immense power roamed the earth, some benevolent, some not so much. The Telchins were among these beings, creatures of the sea with the power to shape and mold metal with their minds. They were master craftsmen, these Telchins. It was they who forged Poseidon's trident, a weapon of such awesome power that it could shake the very foundations of the earth. They also crafted the sickle used by Cronus to overthrow his father Uranus, a tool instrumental in the rise of the Olympians. For a time, the Telchines lived in harmony with Poseidon. They built his palace, forged weapons for his armies, and helped him to establish his rule over the seas. But power, like the ocean itself, is a fickle thing. And the Telchines, for all their skill, were not immune to its corrupting influence. As time passed, a darkness began to grow within the hearts of the Telchines. The same skills that had built wonders now churned out instruments of death and destruction. They forged weapons of incredible cruelty, blades that wept poison, and arrows that could pierce the hide of a god. The Telchines' forge, once a place of creation, became a furnace of despair. The air grew thick with the stench of sulfur and the screams of tortured metal. The creatures of the sea, once so plentiful around their island home, fled in terror. But the Telchin's crimes were not limited to the forging of weapons. They discovered the secrets of dark magic, brewing potent potions that could poison the land and corrupt the minds of men. They poisoned the springs of fresh water, turning them bitter and undrinkable. They whispered nightmares into the minds of mortals, twisting their dreams into visions of fear and despair. The world, once so full of promise, began to buckle under the weight of their evil. The cries of the innocent reached the ears of the gods on Mount Olympus, and their cries did not go unanswered. Section 4. The gods' wrath, retribution for a world corrupted. The Olympians, those powerful beings who ruled from atop Mount Olympus, were not known for their patience. They were divine entities, each with their own realms and responsibilities, yet united in their sense of justice and retribution. When the cries of the innocent reached their ears, their anger shook the heavens. The very fabric of the cosmos seemed to tremble under the weight of their collective fury, a testament to the power they wielded. Zeus, king of the gods, was furious. His eyes blazed with a fire that could rival the sun, and his voice thundered across the skies. He was the embodiment of divine wrath, a force of nature that could not be contained. He summoned his brothers Poseidon and Hades, and together they plotted the Telchin's downfall. Poseidon, god of the sea, and Hades, ruler of the underworld, brought their own unique powers to the table, creating a formidable alliance.
They have betrayed my trust, poisoned my domain, and used their gifts for unimaginable evil. Their actions have tainted the very essence of what it means to be divine, and for that they must pay. I vow to see them punished for their crimes. Their transgressions will not go unanswered, and justice will be served.
The Olympians unleashed their fury upon the Telchines. Lightning split the sky, bolts of celestial fire raining down upon their forges. The earth trembled, opening up beneath their feet and swallowing them whole. Their island home, once a paradise, was reduced to a smouldering ruin. But the Telchines, cunning as they were, did not meet their end so easily. They were creatures of great intellect and resourcefulness, always one step ahead, always scheming. Some say they escaped the gods' wrath, fleeing to the darkest corners of the ocean, where they plot and scheme to this very day. In the shadowy depths, they bide their time, waiting for the perfect moment to rise again. Others believe they were transformed, their bodies twisted into hideous forms, reflecting their corrupted souls. These monstrous beings serve as a grim reminder of the consequences of defying the gods. Whatever their fate, the Telchines serve as a reminder that even in the face of great power, even with the best of intentions, the path to darkness is often paved with good intentions. Their story is a cautionary tale, a warning to all who would dare to stray from the righteous path. And the consequences of straying from that path can be dire indeed. The gods' wrath is not easily appeased, and their judgment is final. The tale of the Telchines is a testament to the enduring power of divine justice and the inevitable downfall of those who succumb to corruption. Section 5. A Heart of the Sea, Poseidon and Amphitrite. The tale of Poseidon and Amphitrite is one of love, betrayal and redemption, set against the vast and mysterious backdrop of the ocean. The defeat of the Telchines, while a victory for the Olympians and the mortal world, left Poseidon heavy with sorrow. The Telchines, once his trusted allies and skilled craftsmen, had turned against him, leading to a devastating conflict. He had been betrayed by those he had trusted, his own creations turned against him. This betrayal cut deep, leaving him questioning his judgment and the loyalty of those around him. He retreated to his palace, seeking solace in the depths of the ocean. The palace, a magnificent structure of coral and pearls, was a place of refuge where he could escape the turmoil of the outside world. It was during this time of solitude that Poseidon encountered Amphitrite, a Nereid, one of the 50 daughters of Nereus, the old man of the sea. Amphitrite, with her ethereal beauty and gentle nature, was a beacon of light in Poseidon's dark world.
Her beauty is as boundless as the ocean itself, her laughter as alluring as the call of the sirens. She moved with a grace that seemed to flow with the currents, her presence bringing life and color to the underwater realm.
Poseidon, used to the raw power of the sea, found himself captivated by Amphitrite's grace and spirit. Her kindness and compassion were a stark contrast to the harshness he had known, and he was drawn to her like a sailor to a lighthouse. He who could control the tides with a flick of his wrist found himself stumbling over his words in her presence. The god of the sea, who commanded respect and fear, was reduced to a nervous suitor in front of Amphitrite. He who had faced down monsters and titans felt a tremor of fear at the thought of rejection. The idea of Amphitrite turning away from him was more terrifying than any beast he had ever encountered.
I have seen the destructive potential of his anger, the way his moods could stir the seas to a frenzy. His wrath could unleash storms that would ravage coastlines and sink ships, a testament to his immense power. But I also see the sadness in his eyes, the loneliness that clings to him like seaweed to a shipwreck. Despite his power, Poseidon was a solitary figure, burdened by the weight of his responsibilities and the betrayals he had endured.
And in her heart, compassion began to blossom. Amphitrite saw beyond Poseidon's formidable exterior to the wounded soul within. She reached out to him, offering not just her beauty but her understanding and empathy. Their meeting was the beginning of a love story that would endure through the ages, a union that brought peace and harmony to the turbulent seas.